Since we are just 8 days away from the release of Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4, I wanted to make this video to make a small theory that I've been thinking about for some time. It's about why Kris is not the knight. And this is just my opinion, okay? So feel free to disagree or agree whenever you want, alright? So, let's begin. Proof number 1. In Chapter 1, Sean, the shopkeeper, mentions a strange knight that appeared and locked away all the 3 kings and put the remaining king on power. But what is curious about this is that he actually mentions a strange knight, keyword strange. He says in a way that implies he actually saw the knight and how they looked like. If Kris really is the knight, Sean should have recognized Kris or made any mention about Kris like, wait, aren't you the knight? Or something. It doesn't make sense that he would just ignore Kris completely if Kris was the knight, because Sean implies that he actually saw how the knight looked like, so it wouldn't make sense him just ignoring that and just acting like he never met Kris before. Proof number 2. After the ending of Chapter 2, we see Kris tear his own heart out, which is us, and open a new dark fountain in his living room. And because of that, everyone started to think that Kris is the knight, the one who opened the dark fountains and created the dark worlds from Chapter 1 and 2. But however, according to Queen herself, the power to create a dark fountain isn't something exclusive to the knight, meaning any Lightner can create a new dark fountain, if they are determined enough, that is. So Kris opening a dark fountain could simply mean that Kris chose to create it because he wanted another adventure. After all, Susie, Noelle, and Birdly themselves mentioned that they would love to have another adventure, like the one they had in Chapter 2 in the cyber world. So yeah, Kris most likely wanted to create a new dark fountain to relive another adventure, because like Queen herself mentioned, any Lightner could make a new dark fountain. Birdly himself was close to making one at the end of Chapter 2, if he wasn't stopped by Rousey. And last but not least, proof number 3. I myself believe that if Kris is really the knight, it would be disappointing. The idea that the enemy who creates the dark fountains, the one we are trying to stop from causing the roaring, the one who locked all the 3 kings, is Kris, would be anticlimactic in my opinion, because that would imply that we fought everything and sealed all the fountains only to realize that the enemy was Kris all along. Would be very disappointing, because it would mean that we did everything for nothing, absolutely nothing, and everything went to waste. So I believe Toby would not make a story like that, because let's be honest, it would be anticlimactic.